I coached basketball and soccer for many years as I taught in Christian schools. And I really do see coaching as an extension of discipleship. But I don't think it's always that way. So, how do we make sure we're really discipling our students while we're coaching them? Well, number one, it's got to be a goal. In 1 Timothy 4:8, it talks about how training our bodies physically, being disciplined in our bodies, has some value, but it pales in comparison to the value of disciplining our bodies for spiritual things. And so the idea of disciplining ourselves for spiritual growth fits really well into what we're doing on the court or on the field. So making sure you set goals not only in wins and not only in physical capabilities, but set spiritual goals of expectations of them reading scripture and prayer and memorization. Number two, give them the means by which to actually grow spiritually. Make sure you're praying together before practices and before games. Make sure it's not just something you got to do real quick. Treat it as valuable. I know I would, while they're stretching and doing other physical activities that were a little slower, I'd have them memorize scripture. We'd work on a Bible verse or two throughout the season that they could memorize. I know there were times as we had real practices where we're working on endurance that I would be, as they're running around the court, I'm reading a passage of scripture and talking about it and explaining it. And we weren't done running until I was done. And so that could be a while. And third, just taking that individual time of discipleship and reaching out. You got to realize that during the sports season, you see them more than their pastor, their youth pastor, their teachers, their parents, and I would say you see them more than all those groups combined. The influence that you can have in an athlete's life is just incomparable. So in the future, when you look 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, whatever games you won or lost, however your season ended up, it will not compare to the value of seeing someone fall in love with Jesus during their season. So make sure your goals aren't only fulfilled on the court, on the field. Make sure your goals are something that is instilling spiritual principles and truths and disciplines in their life for years to come.